Thank you very much, our modulator. And I take this opportunity to welcome every one of you who is here and has taken time off your busy schedule to come and witness the defense of your student, Rhona PHD. Thank you very much and good morning. I think it's good morning. Good morning, Rhona. Yes, I want to thank you very much for taking us through your work. I know the PhD work can be very solitary, but I want to congratulate you for this far you have gone. It's an achievement to be able to defend your work. And I want to thank the administration, the department, and the college for extending to me and inviting me to come and be part of this very important event. And so I want us to listen to Rhona again as I engage her. I know you understand this work better than all of us. And so what I want from you is to throw more light and clarify on some issues which were not very clear to me, and also issues which I am querying. And then we will look at this work in a bigger picture. So I just want to begin with just an overview. I want to begin with a few issues which I want you to clarify on. And it's unfortunate that we don't have electricity, but I will try to fit in. So, kindly remind us of your title. I want to begin with a title. Just remind us your title.
Helicobacter pylori infection, influence of Helicobacter pylori infection during pregnancy on the pregnancy anemia intervention package in Uganda.
Okay, so the title is Influence of Helicobacter pylori infection during pregnancy. And let's leave it at that. So, if you disengaged your mind from this work and you pretended that it's not yours, and you simply stumbled on this book and you looked at this title, what would you expect to find in the book?
I would expect to find data on how Helicobacter pylori infection affects the way pregnant mothers respond to the anemia prevention package.
Okay. So now you put your mind to your work and to your data. The way it is now, does your data resonate with the title?
I would say the results of the longitudinal study, the final results, do. Because I found, on the basis of my sample, that it did not affect the way women respond to the anemia package. So I would say yes.
So you would say that H. pylori influences?
I would say it does not.
You would say it does not?
I found that it does not.
Okay. All right. So I am happy with, I was saying that I am happy with the way you designed your work, in the sense that you started with, you had 2 studies and you started with a study that informed your second study. And so I had the opportunity, first and foremost, to look at your publications. And when I came to publication, that resulted, the publication for your second study. The study was a cross-section study, and I got confused. So your study 1 was cross-section. Your study 2, from your writing of the thesis and your presentation, you were saying it is longitudinal. But your publication says it's cross-section. So, did you have 2 sets in one study? That is study number 2. I kind of got lost because that second paper is silent about the follow-ups. It is only focusing on the baseline, but what is really confusing me is that whereas you are reporting about the same participants, 151 mothers, you are saying it was cross-section. So I didn't get it.
Yes, you are right. So the second publication is based on the baseline. The third publication is work in progress, that will be the longitudinal data. So the second publication is just based on the baseline. What are the factors associated with anemia in the first trimester of pregnancy?
But is it that misleading to the reader? Because you recruited these women, they are the ones you used, and you expected them to come back. So when you say that this was cross-sectional, and then here you are telling us that it was longitudinal, it's like you are contradicting yourself. Because I believe that these are publications arising from the same study. So still, I would have expected you to say that it was longitudinal, but we are reporting results at baseline.
Yes, I have to go back and look at it, but basically, yes, that's what it is. It's a longitudinal study. We are reporting results at baseline, like I did here, and the longitudinal analysis starts from that same baseline in terms of the statistical analysis. It has to incorporate that same baseline. But that paper answers the second objective of the whole PhD. What are the factors associated with anemia in pregnancy?
All right. well, it's something that you will probably discuss more with your supervisors so that you do not appear like a researcher who is just thinning out or slicing your work for purposes of getting many publications. Okay, moving away from that, but before we go into the gist of the work, I know that at this level, all research, especially research that involves human participants, that research must be reviewed, the proposal must be reviewed and cleared by an accredited institution, research ethics committee. And when it comes to PhD, it must actually be cleared by the Uganda National Council for Science and Technology. So in your publications, in your thesis, and also what you have presented, you indicate that this work was clear, but there is no evidence. There is no evidence of the approval, be it at the faculty then level, no evidence from UNCST. I'm talking about a letter, but even if you did not include the letter, at least one would have expected you to provide a number, the study number that is given. So where is the evidence that you consider that?
That is an omission on my part. I will include the letters. That I will include the letters.
So you are assuring me, because now I want to go into the work, you are assuring me that you received the report?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Okay, so now we go to the work itself. So in both studies, study 1 and study 2, you had Kawempe Health Centre. You had Kawempe Health Centre. So in your study 1, you had the 4 districts, and you mentioned that you picked on them because they were part of the innovations. And then in those districts, you picked 4 health facilities. And then in addition to that, you also picked or you chose Kawempe Health Centre. Now I am aware in Kampala there are other health centers, 4 other health centers, 4 in addition to Kawempe. What made you pick? What guided your choice of Kawempe? Why didn't you consider Chiswa? Why didn't you consider Chisenyi? Because they are also within the city, Kampala City Council, and they are also attracting a wide array of low, high, well-educated, not educated women. Why did you choose Kawempe?
I chose Kawempe mostly for their proximity, so I would say it was the convenience sampling, proximity to Makerere, the fact that other people have done research there. So what I would call in inverted commas community entry would be easier. And also because it serves, I know you said that the other facilities also serve low-income areas, but this is the, I would say, the biggest low-income area within Kampala that it serves. So those were my, it was really convenient sampling.
But this is science. Should we only do research where it is convenient?
Sometimes you can use convenient sampling. If if you do not expect that your sample is going to be hugely biased by your choice. So like you said, Chiswa, Kisenyi, if I pick Kawempe, is it going to be hugely different from Chiswa or Kisenyi?
No, I don't know, but I would have expected you to have randomized. And then you maybe say, well, that one was not done.
No, that one, to be honest, I did not, was not randomized in that sense of putting random numbers on whatever.
Okay. Then how about the health facilities in the 4 districts? Why I'm asking is because you had a patch, you had Mbale, you had Mbarara, and then you had Raka. So in Mbarara, you only considered health centers 4. Then in Rakai, you considered health centers 3. Then in Mbale, you considered Mbale Hospital and health centers 2. Then in Rakai, in Apache, you considered Apache Hospital and health centers 2. So why the difference? Why did you pick on, in some districts, health centers 2, in others, health centers 3, and in others, health centers 4? Do you think that could have biased the kind of people who were recruited?
So the reason for that is the districts are different, so Mbarara is quite different from what Apache was then, or Mbale. So part of it was trying to get rural, urban. So the urban in Mbarara, for example, is very different from, at that time, from urban in Apache or in Mbale at that time. And rural was extremely different. So in Mbarara, a health center 4 can be rural at that time. In Mbale, a health center 4 is going to be urban. So if you want to get rural, you have to go lower down. That was the reasoning behind it. That's why you see those differences. So that's basically what it was, that I was trying to get urban, rural, and these districts, the demographics are different.
Okay, yeah, so you are kind of touching something which I wasn't also very sure of. That is how you differentiated rural and urban, because I'm trying to recall what I saw, but in the case of Mbarara, which actually had one of the health center 4s, which you considered as a study site. You considered Mbarara Municipal Council Health Center 4. But then when it came to the number of participants, you mentioned in Mbarara there were only 10 women from urban, compared to 95 from other health center 4s. And then in Rakai, you reported 55 were urban. So I wasn't very sure of how you distinguished or differentiated urban and rural. So how come that in a district with a health center right in the municipal, you reported there were only 10? And then elsewhere, you reported, like in Rakai, there were 50 or 51, something like that. How did you distinguish that?
Okay, again, that comes to the challenges, I would say, of field work. So you find in Mbarara, I started with the municipal health center, and you go there day after day after day after day, and women are not willing to participate, and you cannot force them. But you kind of have to make progress in your research. You go to health facilities, say in Rakai Health Centre 3, even Rakai Hospital, and in one day, because I was, on a particular day, I did not limit myself in terms of numbers on a particular day. One day, you've got 10 women. And those 10 women, to get them in Mbarara, it takes several days. So that is part of it, that, it is field work. It is a challenge in field work. You go to a very rural health facility. In 2 days, you've got, as many women as you think or as you planned to have. Or if you say, I'll do a week here, a week there, and a week in another place, and in 1 week here you have 5, in 1 week in another place you have 20, and in 1 week in the third place you have 50. So that is how it is. It is a challenge I found with some of the urban centers. I even tried here at Mulago, and the mothers were not, I would say, responsive, and there's no reason to try and force them.
Why were you trying Mbarara when it was not a study site?
So it was, shall I say, I would have preferred to have included Mulago for a wider range, especially in terms of income, in terms of education. But that was a challenge I faced.
Okay. So going back to your first study, which involved the 4 geographical areas. So your data shows that in a patch, the prevalence of H. pylori was 18%, as compared to Kawempe, which was around 60.5%. And you mentioned, which I also saw in your presentation, that the fact that the prevalence in a patch was pretty low, and then in other districts it was relatively high, and then higher in Kawempe, which is within Kampala, that it brings about what you referred to as a racial cohort hypothesis. Okay? Yes? Am I right?
Yes, we have question mark.
Yeah, we have question mark. So now, because in that study, you were focusing on ethnicity. So in your write-up, you mentioned, you were referring to Kore ethnicity, which included Banyankole, Bachiga, Banyarwanda, Bafumbira. And I wonder, can you really say that Banyarwanda belong to the Banyankole ethnicity? Or Banyankole tribe? Rarely do I hear use the word ethnicity. What did you have in mind? Because then when it came to the Uganda ethnicity, you marked them, Baganda, Basoga, is it Baru? There were a number of tribes. And then in the end, you came up with that conclusion. Is that right?
So the merging of the ethnicities was because otherwise I would have very, very small numbers that would not support the analysis. So in the outset, as I went to collect data, I did not expect this finding at all. So I had no idea that I would be going into, it was just to try and get different locations in the country, and then I would get 60-70% H. pylori, and that would be it. So this came as, it was very surprising. It was unexpected, totally. And so in order to support analysis, I had to do that. That was true.
But then what I get from your work, the conclusion would be that the individuals who fall under the Ankole ethnic group, they are carrying H. pylori. And within that ethnic group, you are having Banyarwanda, Bafumbira, Bachiba. What is the implication of that conclusion?
Is it, sorry, I shouldn't be asking. It was not so much, well, the two were very closely related, the location and the ethnicity, and it is very hard to separate the two. Apart from Kawempe, where it's very mixed.
Then why did you use maybe Bantu, Nilotics, and that kind of categorization?
I think
it was not going to work.
No, I did not try it, so I can't say it was not going to work. I did not try it.
Okay, so from your work, but also from what is in literature, what are the distinguishable clinical conditions for iron metabolism? What are the distinguishable clinical conditions of iron metabolism?
I'm not very sure I understand the question, but I would say the first one is anemia.
Probably that would be the last.
Yeah, the first one that comes to mind is anemia. Clinical conditions of iron metabolism, iron deficiency.
No, I'm asking this question coming from the tests in your methods. So, when you consider using soluble serum transferrin receptor, what did you have in mind? When you considered using ferritin, what did you have in mind? When you considered using soluble serum transferrin receptor ferritin index, what did you have in mind? What were you targeting? When you considered having hemoglobin, what were you targeting?
Iron deficiency. So hemoglobin is anemia, soluble transferrin receptor is iron deficiency. It is more about measuring the supply or the lack of supply of iron to tissues. Ferritin again is also iron deficiency, but it's about storage iron. So when ferritin is low, but transferrin receptor is still in, which is low also, is still okay. It indicates that the person's status is okay. And hemoglobin is also above 11 grams per deciliter for pregnant women. Then we have what is called iron deficient erythropoiesis. So you have someone who's iron deficient, whose ferritin is low, but they are still able to synthesize red blood cells. Hemoglobin is normal. So when both are low together, then you have, including hemoglobin, then you have iron deficient anemia or iron deficiency anemia.
So you were so much interested in knowing right from the baseline the percentage of the mothers who were anemic, and also throughout the study, specifically in study number 2. And although you did not really classify, like looking at the severity of anemia, did you at any one point, were you interested in knowing the classification, knowing the severity of anemia as the study progressed?
I would say in terms of analyzing the data, no, but the data is there because we measured hemoglobin and you can classify between mild and moderate, and those were normal. But severe anemia was not included at all. So it is only mild, moderate, and...
So you were interested in mild and moderate?
Mild and moderate.
And so this brings me to another question. Why didn't you consider also looking at complete blood count, because it is a recommended method of test when it comes to anemia in pregnancy? Actually, it is recommended even more than using hemoglobin, the HemoQ which you used, especially in those health facilities which do have the facilities.
I really don't.
Because complete blood count would even give you a better picture, because it will give you the numbers of white blood cells, and then you will get more information on infections.
No, that was not, I do not have any particular reason why I did not consider that. Apart from saying that from my own background in lab analysis, in the work that I had experience in, it wasn't sort of in my portfolio. I did not consider it at all, and the supervisors did not recommend it.
Okay. So in your second study, at baseline there were 8 women with malaria, and indeed your findings show that there was an independent positive association or correlation, malaria parasites and anemia. So I noticed that in your methods you mentioned that malaria parasites were counted, but then you do not provide any information or data on parasitemia. So what made you simply block the malaria infection as either present, positive or negative, and you did not provide parasitemia anyway? That is one. The second one is the technicians or the data that you were reporting on malaria infection. Which stage of malaria parasites was considered? Because the information is missing in your thesis.
So it was a deliberate decision to look at malaria. Yes, no. I wasn't looking at the level, the parasitemia, or the stage. I was interested in, is there malaria? Yes or no? The raw data from the lab is available, but really that was my interest. Yes, no, without any further.
Why did you consider parasitemia?
I did not consider parasitemia because
Vis-a-vis anemia. Parasitemia vis-a-vis anemia.
Because of there's a large body of evidence which shows that, just having malaria, irrespective of the level, I know it becomes more severe with the parasitemia, but just having malaria as is a risk factor for anemia. So that's why I looked at it that way.
Okay. Then in the follow-up studies, the first follow-up of the 8 who had malaria at baseline, I don't remember the number very well, but probably maybe they were 3. Okay. So because in the book you do not mention the stage of the malaria parasites which they were considering. So I am left wondering, the anemia which you observed at the follow-ups, was it anemia because of the middle-side coverage? Was it anemia because of the ascension parasites? Because then that would give you good information. I'm asking these questions because you are looking at this package. And so you are saying that our women are being given iron, but perhaps that is not appropriate. They are being given malaria prophylaxis. But that is good because you have already, but now I am asking, was it because of the lymphocyte coverage or the asexual stage? I'm not seeing that information in the book.
Yes, because I didn't do that, so it's not possible to answer that question, to be able to say that anemia was because of this stage or the other stage.
Okay, so your interest was positive, negative?
Positive, negative.
Okay, all right. Then you had interest in taking note of the contribution of diet as far as iron is concerned. And so you considered and you scored different kinds of foods. And then you also considered beverages like tea, which is good. By the way, what was it that you were interested in as far as tea is concerned?
Tannins in tea inhibit the absorption of iron, particularly the iron from the plant sources. So it's important to know whether people are consuming tea with their food or, with their food.
So why is the basis silent about beverages? Because your questionnaire shows that you had questions focusing on tea consumption, but also the frequency. But then when it comes to the write-up and also your publications, you don't say anything about that. Was the data analyzed?
The data was analyzed, but what I used was the principal components which reduced those different factors, meat, nakati, all that tea and everything into, reduce that data into an index. So that's what I used. So when it's reduced to that index, I cannot go back again to break it down into tea. That would be now a different paper, I think, to look at tea in particular. If tea in particular is associated with iron deficiency or anemia. So it's the method of data analysis or reduction that I used.
Probably you actually don't even need to come up with another with another paper. All that I am requesting is that in that section, I'm sorry I did not take note of the section, where you talk about the foods and the narcotics, can you please chip in something? The beverages, so that it is captured. That it was also incorporated as services. Okay. All right, and then now we go to the results. Oh, my God, that's what I was So we have results on C-reactive protein, which you use as a marker of inflammation, and then inflammation, stroke, infection, and then transferrin receptor. So looking at the figures for C-reactive protein level at baseline, it was 22.1. First follow-up, it was 15.3. Second follow-up, it was 21.4. And it kind of resonated with the ferritin levels, because the ferritin levels, they also went high throughout the study number 2. Which shouldn't surprise us, because normally ferritin levels actually increase during pregnancy. But then your hepcidin was low, very low, even to be picked by the, it was below the detection level. How can you explain that? High ferritin, low hepcidin, high CRP.
So firstly, is a little bit of a disclaimer that the hepcidin, I cannot say 100% sure that that is what was in the original samples, because they delayed for almost 3 weeks in shipment. So they were thawed when they arrived in the Netherlands. So both of us, me here and the people who analyzed the other side, are not, you know, you cannot put your hand there and say these are the real values that you can stand by them. But still we try to incorporate them in the analysis. Now, ferritin and hepcidin, even with that disclaimer, were correlated, which gave us some kind of hope that maybe they were not as degraded. They
low hepcidin values.
It was inverse, so ferritin high, hepcidin low, but significant. Now, the relationship between ferritin and CRP, ferritin is an acute phase protein. So if there's infection, inflammation, it will go up. So if it has that relationship with CRP, it is more of the response to infection, inflammation, as opposed to the real ferritin that you would see if there was no infection, inflammation. So
let me ask before you continue.
Yes.
Are you aware that hepcidin is also a marker of inflammation?
I would say that
when ferritin is high, hepcidin, if there is inflammation, hepcidin would also be high?
I would say hepcidin is high if there's inflammation to reduce transport of iron or transfer of iron from storage and from macrophages and so on. So it increases in response to inflammation. I hesitate to say that it would be a marker per se of inflammation. It has that role in regulating iron during inflammation.
Available literature shows when there is inflammation, hepcidin rises, ferritin rises. Your findings show from your CRP levels that they were rising. So the only thing is that you are not very, very sure of your hepcidin levels. Yeah. But my question would be, if we had CRP high and then also AGP high throughout baseline, follow-up 1, follow-up 2, they were high. Why is it that now hepcidin was low, and yet if there is inflammation, it ought to be high? Perhaps maybe it's because of what you were saying.
It might be that, but also the literature shows that in pregnancy, hepcidin keeps reducing during the course of pregnancy.
Why?
Because, hepcidin, like I said, inhibits the transfer of iron to where it is needed. So if the mother has to synthesize red blood cells, or if iron has to be transported to the infant, then you don't want to have a hepcidin because it's going to inhibit that, so it keeps going down. So I would say a normal physiological pregnancy hepcidin reduces so that iron is available to go wherever it is needed. So that is what would happen. So the poster which I showed that I presented on hepcidin, one of the conclusions in that poster is that there seems to be a disconnect, which I think is what you're raising, between hepcidin, ferritin in pregnancy. It is not like what you would see in a non-pregnant person, but maybe it's because of the extra demands of pregnancy. So that was the conclusion of that poster.
Is it possible for hepcidin to affect or to distort erythropoiesis, and then that would lead to anemia?
I would say not directly. It does so by limiting the transfer of iron from the duodenal enterocytes after absorption, from the macrophages where red blood cells are recycled, and from the liver where iron is stored. So because of hepcidin, iron, it's sequestered in those places, and the bone marrow doesn't have access to iron for synthesis of red blood cells. So then you have that anemia. Even though there's enough iron in the body, you get anemia.
You go and find it.
That is
go and look it up. Then about serum transferrin receptor. So the numbers, the means, they increased, which is actually expected. So 5.46 at baseline, 6.36 at follow-up 1, and then slightly lower than that at follow-up number 2. But now the thing is, at the baseline, you started with follow-up one, the number came down to 76, almost 50% in no time. And then at follow-up number 2, the number came down to 52, I think. So you kind of lost like 2/3. So now when it came to analyzing your data statistically, then it kind of showed statistical significance as far as serum transferrin receptor is concerned. So I'm wondering, was the significance because of the variation, the differences in the numbers, 151, 76, 52, or it was the actual significant difference in the levels? Because the difference in the numbers could have actually brought about that significance. Did you account for that?
So the two methods that were used for analysis take into account two things. They take into account missing data, and they also take into account correlation of repeated measures. So I would say yes, it is what it is. It's not because of the number. Yeah.
So what is the implication? What is the implication of your results as far as managing or prevention of anemia in pregnancy is concerned?
The implication firstly is that iron supplementation doesn't address the whole issue of anemia, and maybe we need to go into seeing how we can target those mothers that do need iron deficiency. That do need iron supplementation because they are iron deficient. Secondly, the second implication is that we need to look more closely into infection, inflammation, and anemia. And this is coming up not only in pregnancy, but even in children. That's why we are getting all kinds of interventions, water and sanitation interventions to deal with anemia, because we are trying to deal with the infection part of anemia. So those would be the two key things that we would want to consider: targeted iron supplementation and dissecting or understanding this inflammation so that we can make...
So are you proposing that we take away iron supplement, iron folic acid supplement from the package, and we only give it to the ones who are iron deficient? Because it's kind of what you are proposing. Let me take you to page 101, section 4.6, conclusions and recommendations. This is what you write as your conclusion number 3. The findings that over half of anemia is not due to iron deficiency has implications for current strategies to prevent and control anemia in pregnancy. Do you stand by this conclusion?
Yes.
What is the implication, especially because I'm asking this in view of the fact that your study number 2 was based at Kawempe. So perhaps I would have started by asking about the generalizability of your findings, because we are focusing on one study site in Kampala, and we are using these findings to generalize pregnant women in Uganda. Do you really think that these findings would still be true elsewhere. So when you say that maybe we should consider getting out or removing iron, folic acid tablets from the package, is it wise, given the fact that many of our women actually survive on staple food cassava with high content of phytates? They take tea.
I would say this was, like you say, at one health facility, moreover in Kampala, which is the largest city, so probably even the women at a slightly higher income than in other places, as you said. But I would still stand by the findings having implications for what we are doing. So we need to look much closer at what we are doing. And we shouldn't do what we are doing. We shouldn't just continue doing what we are doing. We need to look into it. I read recently of a study, I think it was in Gambia, where they are trying to look at different biomarkers to help them make that kind of decision. Who do we give iron supplementation and who don't we give? They were actually looking even at hemp seeding. So I believe it shouldn't be business as usual, let me put it that way. It shouldn't be business as usual. We need to look into this. So that is the implication.
So at what point would you then recommend health facilities to be measuring CRP and AGP?
That would have to come through.
And would it be cost effective anyway?
It would have to come through policy. It would have to come through policy. Because of the significance of infection, inflammation, especially in our developing country settings, there are many efforts to make easy point of care tests. So I believe it will become one day possible and cost effective to have a point of care test that measures 5 different biomarkers: CRP, AGP, ferritin, transferrin receptor, maybe even retinol for vitamin A, so that we are able to really target these interventions. That day is coming soon.
You think so?
Yes, absolutely. There are multiplex, tests that people are beginning to validate. They are trying them out.
How much was it, if you were to estimate, how much did it cost measuring CRP, measuring serum transferrin receptor, measuring ferritin, measuring insulin?
It cost.
Do you think it would be affordable?
It cost. I cannot remember the exact figures now, but it was a huge sum of money because I was using kits and I bought separate kits for CRP, for transferrin receptor, and so on. But currently, I know there's someone who can test 5 biomarkers for $1.
Which takes me back, thank you very much for that, but which takes me back to what I asked about complete blood count. Because it provides information on possible infection. So in a setting where most of our women probably cannot afford those several tests, then can we think, because you have very low findings, can we think of another test which is relatively cheaper than these ones, which can identify infection? And then we probably remove those ones who are anemic but not iron deficient. That is something that you need to think about.
Yes.
Okay, then I'm trying to So when you were looking at during the follow-up, you were looking at the way the mothers were taking these supplements. So you mentioned that unlike what the Ministry of Health provides, which was 100 milligrams of iron for 6 days, and then 400 of folic acid. The tablets which you use are about 150. 150. You measure 150 / 400 of folic acid. And so you require the women to be taking them every other day, not daily. Now usually people tend to remember something if they do it on a daily basis. And literature shows that in those studies which were conducted to assess how well mothers really take these supplements, the supplements were given on a daily basis. And the findings are very promising. I'm talking about hemoglobin levels throughout pregnancy. What prompted you to give those tablets to these women? That is one. And the second one is, could it be that maybe you did not see any significant results because maybe the women forgot, maybe they were forgetting because they had to skip a day to take those tablets?
That is definitely a possibility. Why I had to give, well, first, when I went to, I couldn't assume that the health facilities would have the tablets to provide, because these are supposed to be provided freely, but I couldn't assume that they would be there. They are very often stock out, so I had to buy my own. So when I went to buy them, that is what was there. And when I took them to the health facilities, they were giving something similar. Okay? They were giving FIFOL, it was, well, at least the container was the same. So the reason I gave every other day is because it was higher dose and there are some side effects, and I didn't want the mothers to come back to me and say, no, we can't take this anymore because of these side effects. So I had to devise something, a way of sorting out that issue and still ensuring that they were supplied, that they were given the iron and folic acid. Many studies, yes, look at daily iron folic acid. Some have looked at every other day, some have looked at weekly. People are looking at different options because of the, shall I say, side effects. Yeah, so people are looking, they are looking at different options for the iron folic acid, or they have looked at different options.
But you did not look at the reasons why the women did not treat.
The ones who did not come back?
No, so I mean you did not look at the reasons why quite a number of women did not complete the 23 tablets and the 45 tablets at follow-up time.
No.
Okay, it was not part of this one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how did the mother benefit? What was the benefit? Those who participated in this study, how did they benefit?
They benefited in many ways. One, every mother got a mama kit. I know they're supposed to be provided but I never saw anyone in any health facility giving a mama kit. In both studies, by the way, the mothers got mama kits. They got nutrition education, so whenever they would come back, we'll talk to them about how they need to eat and things like that, so they got that nutrition
You mean
education.
only those who participated in the study who received this education talk?
Yes, the one-on-one talk. There are group talks to mothers at ANC, but these were one-on-one individual talks. They got those, shall I say, regular malaria tests. They got, again, stockouts of Farcida and Mebendazole, so they got those. So there were definitely benefits for the mothers.
So this is a PhD in biochemistry. What is it that you have learned? What is it that you have gained as a PhD candidate?
Well, one thing I have learned about myself is that I am not very well cut out for field kind of work. I enjoy and I am more comfortable in the lab, and that is where I've focused since I did this work. It's in doing lab. That is my niche, especially in nutrition, because we do not have that many nutrition biochemists here, people who are doing nutrition lab work. That is the first thing. The second thing I have learned is a lot about troubleshooting and sort of having a seventh or sixth sense with some of these assays. And when you get that experience doing things over and over again, you're able to troubleshoot in a much quicker way. Of course, I've learned also a lot about these biomarkers, and in some ways it has, even though I'm defending now, but because of the publications and the experience, it has taken me some places that I may not have gone. If I was given the choice, I would prefer something like PhD in nutrition biochemistry.
Okay, so if you were to come up with a simple news brief for people who do not understand C-reactive protein, ferritin, hemoglobin, what is that simple message that you will give which arises from this work? And then in addition to that, what has this work, what is it that we have gained that we did not know?
So the simple message would be that mothers should endeavor to go for antenatal care, because when they go for antenatal care, there's a lot they can learn about their health through the tests and the counseling that is given during antenatal care. The interventions that are given during antenatal care.
Is that the message that is coming from
That is the simple language message of go and test for anemia, go and test for malaria, go and get IPT and Farcida. That is the simple, because it's all around antenatal care.
How about Ministry of Health? Because Ministry of Health already knows. From your work, this PhD work, what information would you give to Ministry of Health that you think would be relevant maybe to inform policy?
To Ministry of Health, I believe because they are nutritionists, they can use different language, but I would tell them that we need to look into the anemia of pregnancy, to study it, to understand it better so that we can intervene more strategically and more appropriately.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ms.